Jimmy Patsos in studio, Siena Saints men's basketball coach. It's the Jimmy Patsos Show, brought to you by All-Star Wine and Spirits. And that's right.
What?
You're going to
Craig
have a show with us now. Craig Allen of All-Star Wine and Spirits has made this work where every week at this time on Tuesdays, you're going to hang out with us.
And I am very grateful for that.
Are you?
As are we.
I like it.
Yeah, we are too, man. This will be fun.
I just have to give myself a couple more minutes to get over here with the traffic. But I ran walking out of the arena. I'm running over here.
Why were you late?
Well, we're doing a little bit of a.
You brought me a tardy slip. Thank you.
AT&T Universe. I did actually. AT&T Universe is doing a documentary on us playing against the top two teams that played the national championship. It's going to be aired.
Yeah, I'm going to ask you about that great decision here in a second.
Yeah, I know, right? I have editorial control.
Yeah,
you know, it's funny. I told them I don't want to. Their father. Brandon and John, their father worked at the track. They went to Saratoga their whole life. I met him there in the summer. They just used to go in the summer. He worked for Naira.
Oh, cool.
And they're filmmakers. They did Iditarod. They did the Convicts Rodeo. They did the Ronda from MMA. They did a hockey coach that they did Williams and Amherst, the oldest football rivalry. They did Trinity's squash team, had the longest winning streak of any sport ever. 250 games in a row they won. And when they covered them, they lost. Like they you know. I know, who knew, right? Trinity's squash team. So anyways,
yeah, right.
They're kind of off the board, guys, and they met us, and they're going to follow the Saints. And as I'm walking out, a 1953 graduate hands me a poll. We were 11th in the country. Kansas was 1. I can't read. Kentucky was 3. Iowa, St. Louis, St. Bonaventure, Washington, West Virginia was 10. Siena was 11. Ahead of Louisville, Texas Christian. I can't read some of these. Dayton. Unbelievable. So, and the guy was in the team. The guy was in the team. Talked to us about rebounding, and he's right. We have to throw the ball up in the air, say freeze, and make sure the guys are boxing out. That's why Siena's a great job. So anyways, that's why we're late, because we're doing a documentary, and then this older gentleman that played there had this piece of paper, which is the poll of when we were 11th in the country. So
where is this documentary going to air?
It's going to be on AT&T Universe. They have 10 million households, but they just got bought by DirecTV, so now they'll have 70 million. But these guys, and you can look them up, they've got the youngest surfing champ. They just did a really cool thing, the Masters of Miniature Golf. The guy gets the green windbreaker, but it was actually a girl from Czechoslovakia who was in Myrtle Beach. These miniature golf people are like crazy. It's really competitive.
Do you like miniature golf?
You know, I play it a little, but I was in Orlando at a real at a real course. They're really tough, these real ones they have. It's not like you think. It's like a course.
I will go Happy Gilmore on you at the miniature golf course.
God, I love that movie. That's where my girl from Modern Family got famous. But anyways,
yes.
That's where it was. And that's why Siena's a great job. Yeah, she's great. Julie Bowen.
Oh,
her real name is Julie Luke DeMeyer. She's from Baltimore. Luke DeMeyer is her last name.
Your old stomping grounds.
Yep, she went to Brown University, and she went out there, and I know her father. For 2 years, he sent her and the daughter out there and said, if they can make it, I'll fund you for 2 years.
Really?
Right at the end, and her sister's a makeup artist and does really well. Right at the end, they were going to move back, and she got Happy Gilmore.
And she did very well in that movie, in more ways than one.
She's doing fine. She makes about $300,000 an episode. If you're frugal,
holy smokes.
If you're frugal, you can live on that.
22 episodes a year at $300,000 an episode.
For 10 years.
I feel like that's all right.
And one of the best shows on TV, by the way, Modern Family.
Cam's hilarious. You know he's a big L.A. Kings fan?
Yes, I didn't know that. Yes,
he's a Kansas State alum. Gives money back to the football
he's
program.
so obnoxious about them too. He was around them all the time. Jimmy Patsos Show brought to you by All-Star Wine and Spirits with Armen and Levack. We do it every Tuesday, starting right meow. Now you guys kick off your season on Friday at Duke, and then you go to Wisconsin. Why would you do this on purpose?
Well,
it's crazy, man.
It was part of the tournament. We could have played VCU in Georgetown. They were in the tournament as well. The Duke thing happened first. I think ESPN, I think the people in Bristol said ESPNU, Duke, Siena, good matchup, play Friday night.
Perfect. Remember,
we're getting paid to go to this tournament.
I understand that.
There's a whole formula. But I was surprised we weren't going to just, bust it up to VCU, play them, and go home. That was the plan. And then Wisconsin got the Sunday night game, and it's an 8 o'clock game, and they want to put it on ESPNU again. And when they ask you in Bristol, I take it as a compliment. I know it's crazy, but...
Oh, no. Well, I'm being tongue-in-cheek when I ask why you would do that.
But that's why, because in other words, Radford, Bryant, and Prairie View are all good teams. Radford beat us last year. They went to the postseason. But we have a much better following, better name. As I said, in 1951, we were 11th in the poll in the country. So
plus, it's TV games. You got to get that Patsos factor. They got to make sure that you're on there.
But New York, big market, but Siena, great. And we were in the CBI 2 years ago, and we kind of run and press and stuff like that. So I took it as an honor, and then you just go for it.
When you're on TV, do you feel the need to entertain a little more?
No.
On ESPNU?
I'm calmer this year. I've been doing a little calmer this year. I'm 49, yep.
Have you been, going to see a shrink or something? How do you become calmer?
I read a few 10% Happier by Dan Harris. I read that book.
Okay. You doing a little woo-saw?
We're doing a little meditating.
Are you really?
How long is that going to last, though? Especially when you start your season with Duke in Wisconsin.
The season hasn't started yet. Right. We're not going to give you
you're calm right now.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm working on some stuff. But anyways, I had a lot of meetings with the players. The players are like, we get your points, but you can want some, but you don't have to overdo it. On the other hand, like Brett Bisping's like, I think I need a kick in the butt. Red Auerbach, some guys need a pat on the butt.
Everybody's different, right?
Yes, and I think that's what you have to deal with in 2015.
Interesting. All right, so as a coach...
I'm always nice to the player. I don't even yell during practice, really. I'm nice to them. We do all kinds of fun stuff in practice, and I'm nice to them, but...
What do you guys do fun in practice? Like Red Rover?
We do a lot of contests, little dribble relay, more stuff than you think. But, we had a thing on... today we talked about Motown, and I did a thing from Vanity Fair where... Rihanna's on the cover, and it's about how she has to listen to Beyonce and Jay-Z because they had to listen to someone else, and because Stevie Wonder and Diana Ross had to listen to Berry Gordy. That's who founded Motown. And
right.
The first quote is about Jay-Z. When I grew up, when I finally got good was when I grew up and realized I had to take direction and be coachable. So I cut that out and I gave it to him, and I said, see, it's... Rihanna's got all the money in the world, but she's got to listen to Beyonce and Jay-Z, and then they have to listen to Rick Rubin or whoever, and then they had to, Diana Ross's 17 number one hits had to listen to Berry Gordy and blah, 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 and Phil Spector and all this kind of stuff. It's just, you got to get them. And I said, what do you want? Phil Jackson to come in here to tell you to box out and then you will? How dumb is that? You better box out because these guys get rebounds at Duke and they kick them out for threes. But I'm more worried about Manhattan and Iona. And I think this trip, John Jenny and I talked about it. This is basketball. College basketball is a 4-minute game. We have these little it's 4 minutes in a timeout. So it's 4-minute games.
Okay.
We have 24-minute segments to get better this weekend. In other words, we have 4 minutes here, 4 minutes there. We might play a big lineup. We might go, of course we're going to try and win. We got a chance to win because we're playing them. But you also have to, I want to get better. And we're taking all our boosters and we're on a private plane, a charter plane and all that kind of stuff. And Will Brown's going to kill me. They have 6 layovers to get to Kentucky and we're on a charter plane. See, there is a difference in the programs.
Yeah.
Um,
But how bad do you just want to stick it to Coach K one time? Just show up and completely upset him, shock the world, take Duke down.
do, but to go back to that, I think that was because Will spoke. Will did a great job this year at the Coaches versus Cancer was unbelievable. Fran McCaffrey came in and Julian. Will was talking about this trip to Maine and how he wanted the charter, and he was going hint to his AD. It was pretty funny. And this is a very rare opportunity. This is the only time we'll charter. We're on like an NHL plane with our booster, but we have 30 boosters and ex-players coming and stuff, so it's good. We won 4 times. I played 13 times as Maryland and 1 time at Loyola, and we won 4 times in Cameron. I think it's the greatest place to play any sporting event right now. Yankee Stadium's gone, Boston Garden's gone, RFK's gone. They're all gone. This is it. This is like the last Mecca.
You've been in Cameron, right? You play games there or coach games
14
there?
games I've coached
14 games there.
1-4.
In your own words, what makes it Cameron Indoor?
First of all, we had Cole Fieldhouse at Maryland. In other words, there's old places to play that are cool. And I played Lawrence, Allen Fieldhouse and all that kind of stuff. Coach K, man, one smart dude. Instead of everybody needs a practice facility. Everybody needs a new locker room. Wrigley Field, Fenway Park.
Right.
They did what Fenway Park did. They kept the ball, Cameron, and then they built a tower with all the offices and then a practice facility and the locker rooms off of it. Whereas everybody now, like at Maryland, we just closed Cole and built a brand new state-of-the-art arena. We all do it. They got around it and they kept history, and it's such a great advantage because they got 9,500 people on top of you. The students are so educated, and I don't mean the Duke education. They're going to know all about me, and they're all scripted, and they move behind the basket. Allen Fieldhouse, cool place to play, but it wasn't that hard to shoot free throws. I've been in Pauley Pavilion. Florida's a tough place to play.
How much more difficult do the Cameron Crazies make it?
I mean, it's insane. That's the difference.
See, Levack, that's what I did in college, Coach. I did it by myself at Texas Tech my freshman year. I would research those guys when Bobby was there. Bobby Knight was there, and then we had by my senior year we had 75 guys on my roster, and we would fill the rows.
I'll tell you what. No joking. 75 people behind the basket harassing you can make a real difference in a game.
We beat number 1 Kansas in 2005. We had no business doing it. Double overtime.
It can happen. And Tubby's out there. Tubby likes living out there, he said. He said it's better than you think.
You boys with Tubbs?
Yes. G.G. Smith, his son, was my assistant. Loyola's now the head coach. Tubby's Under Armour guy. Tubby's the greatest. Talk about a class act.
Yeah.
Class act. But anyways, the Cameron thing
what a transition from Bob Knight to Tubby Smith.
Couldn't be right, exactly.
Just throwing that out there.
Wasn't Gillespie there too?
Yes, he was in between. He had 1 year. Yeah, I mean, we'll just say they upgraded in class. Oh, gosh, that's mean. Jimmy Patsos Show brought to you by All-Star Wine and Spirits. All right, Jimmy.
You got to go see Craig Allen's
store. Tell us about All-Star Wine.
I mean, how great is this? You got the dogs.
I go once a week.
My wife
I was there
loves
Saturday.
It. He's got the fish tanks. He's got the dogs in there. It's like going to the Bass Pro Shop for, wine and liquor. And
it's quite the experience.
We bring people there. They love it. We get people gifts from there. Craig does a great job. He's coming on the trip. Him and Steve are coming on the trip.
Nice.
And that's great. So they do a lot. But I'm really happy to be on this station. I think we have a future here.
Good.
Well,
I
think you have an opportunity to hire a new assistant coach in Armen Williams, because we've actually had players come on here and remember the antics of him and his fro bros at Texas Tech. We've actually had them go
Did you have the things? Did you have them on and everything?
I froze, yeah. Yep. And I painted my whole body from waist up.
So you started that.
I'll show you. I started it. I'll show you a picture. Do you remember Wayne Simeon?
Yes.
He was a regular on our show for a while because we went back and forth because I accused him of elbowing me. And then I found the actual video, and it wasn't him. It was one of his teammates. I forget the teammate that actually did it, too.
Well, they've had problems there. Isn't that where Oklahoma... Who had the problem there? Oklahoma State had the problem there? At Texas Tech?
Problem there. Oh, yeah. With Smart, Marcus Smart in the stands. Yeah. Yep, absolutely.
Because I know it's turned into... What do they hold, 12,000 there?
Oh, no. A little more than that.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a big arena. I think 16.
There you go.
I don't think I'm making that up. Jimmy Patsos, the Jimmy Patsos Show, brought to you by All-Star Wine and Spirits with Armen and Levack every Tuesday now. Today's the first edition. So love it. And when Coach Patsos comes in here, look, I get it. We're going to break down Siena every which way, but we also learned stuff about Coach Patsos, including the time that he lost out on making millions of dollars. Next.